Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another TV season episode of Games My Mom Found. You know, it's better off people think you're dead, but just because I want to tell everyone, my name is Mike Albertin. Who's with me tonight?
Peter Bingham-Pankratz. You may know me if you read my book, The Fifth Civilization, available now wherever books are sold.
All right.
And you're no use to me dead, Carusetta, Kerry Chandler over here. You may know me on Twitch, Carusetta, Kerooseta.
The reason I actually didn't catch that until my rewatch of this season, where I'm like, God, he says that a lot. It's better off people think you're dead. My name is Bobba Fett to the same person. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is what the fans wanted for 30 years. 40 years. This is what we wanted to see.
So we are here to talk about the Book of Boba Fett, which started in 2021 in December, ran for 7 episodes. We're going to cover the season 1, hopefully the only season, to be honest, because I just don't. Not saying I didn't like it. I just don't think it needs another season. I think it should just be like a little thing that was there to exist to progress.
We're gonna get the Vespa gang have their spinoff.
It's gonna be 10 episodes next time, Mike. It's gonna be 10 episodes.
I mean, that's a long probably take them to cross from Mos Eisley to Mos Espa, probably 10 episodes to get there in those solo ass bikes.
Yeah, as long as 3 of the episodes are just episodes of The Mandalorian, it's fine.
So we're going to talk about it. Oh, man. I was very excited when this got announced. When it first happened, I was very, very excited because I really wanted to see more Boba Fett at that time.
I agree. For the longest time, I thought it was called The Ballad of Boba Fett, which I think would be much better. And then when right before it came out, I was like, oh, it's the book. I don't know why they called it that, but
yeah.
It's just an odd show. Like, for those that don't know, you would have had to. It takes place after Mandalorian season 2, which is 5 years after Return of the Jedi. But parts of this take place right after Return of the Jedi, and parts of this take place somewhere in between all those windows.
It's not clear, is it? Am I wrong? Is it not? Do they explicitly say at any point, "Oh, it's been 5 years"?
No, I'm not in this. But it's been told in Mandalorian is 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this shows that it takes place after Mandalorian season 2 because you see him in Mandalorian season 2.
Right.
Okay.
But no, it never really voices it.
I'm just wondering, I guess we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I'm just wondering how Bib Fortuna was in charge for all that time.
But was that in Clone Wars?
What?
Bib Fortuna being in charge after Jabba's death. That's in
Clone
Wars. No, of course.
Mandalorian season 2.
It's in Mandalorian season 2. Okay.
For a very small scene, he goes in there, kills them.
But I'm just wondering how he,
But that had to be in like the comics or something, right?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
The way they acted with it, I feel like I want to know. I feel like there had to be some backstory. There's some comic or some cartoon or something for why Bib Fortuna why anyone would listen to him.
Right. Yeah, that's my whole thing. Like, how did he get in charge?
Ajadawada.
And why didn't the Hutts send somebody earlier to take over?
Why they wait 5 years?
Right. Yes.
News travels slowly.
I guess. I guess.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense either. There's a lot of things in here that don't make sense.
Right.
Like, I think the show opens, if I remember correctly, with Boba Fett coming out of the ground, or pretty early, when he does a flashback.
In the Sarlacc pit.
Yes. Well, the scene of him waking up in the Sarlacc pit, and he just sees like the stormtrooper that's being dissolved, and just like that was cool. And he's in his armor still, of course. Like that was really cool.
I'm going to go ahead and say, so I will say I did not like the show. I really enjoyed anytime it was in the past. Anytime it was right after Return of the Jedi, I actually thought that stuff was pretty good. And I think the show would have been so much better if it just focused on that stuff and did not have any of the present time stuff, any of the stuff that's happening during Mandalorian season or after Mandalorian season 2. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed him coming out of the Sarlacc pit. That's something, that we've seen in, expanded universe stuff, but now actually getting to see it on the screen was pretty cool.
I did like that. I like it. I was happy that he survived. Like, I was happy that they brought him back. I originally, before this came out, I thought for sure this show was just going to be a telling of what happened before, in the 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and then we would see him. They put away the character at the end of the show, one way or the other.
Yeah, I figured he was going to die at the beginning when the show started. I thought that was going to be like the way it was going to end the series. But Yeah, it's a funny thing because, I think it's become kind of popular for people. I've heard it on a lot of podcasts and some people like, oh man, Boba Fett's not a character. He wasn't a character. It was just a cool looking costume. I'm like, Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie. It's my favorite movie. And he is awesome in that he has character. He's the one who isn't fooled by Han Solo sticking, hanging out with the garbage and all that. He is the one willing to kind of like talk back to Darth Vader and be like, no, man, like I need this guy, I mean, I thought that he did have a little bit of a character as much as, you can have from like a kind of a secondary villain in a sci-fi movie in the 70s or in the 80s.
Right. I feel like the kind of take that he's worthless came from just Return of the Jedi, where he's dispatched so quickly. But I mean, even accidentally. I mean, even in that though, we get to see him fly his jetpack around, and
we do, and we get to see him like he's kind of kicking Luke Skywalker's ass.
Yeah.
Also, like he's got Luke on the ropes. Like if he had turned on his flamethrower right there, Luke Skywalker would probably have died. And so,
I mean, they won by accident. Like they really did. Like you
exactly.
were saying.
So he is he's enough of a badass that the only way for him to lose is by dumb luck.
Right.
So but I didn't necessarily want a series for him. I was on the record as being annoyed when he was teased that he was going to be in The Mandalorian season 2. I'm like, oh, come on. We don't need Boba Fett. The Mandalorian is the Boba Fett TV series we all wanted.
Right.
We don't need him to show up, and we don't need Boba Fett. And then he showed up in it, and he was fine in it. I don't know.
I mean, I also disagree with the same thing when people say he did. I believe he did have character. I mean, especially as you look at other stuff that came out, like became a big character in Star Wars, and you think about all the stuff that probably happened in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi that we got in expanded material.
Oh yeah, the expanded. I mean, like Karen Traviss is my favorite Star Wars author, and she was like in the middle of writing like a Boba Fett like centric series when she quit because of Lucas. But
so I mean, there is stuff there. So I never believe that he didn't have it. And I was also happy he came back in Mandalorian 2. I was really happy. I thought that was awesome when he comes back.
I thought it worked out pretty well in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
He was the Boba Fett we had in Mandalorian season 2 is killing Stormtrooper. He's a badass. And it was just kind of funny because in this was very much like a redeeming arc. Like, I'm a hero. I'm not a murderer. Like, you're a fucking murderer, buddy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the problems is like, he's a good guy, but he also wants to be the crime boss, but he doesn't do any crime. So I'm not sure what he means by being the daimyo. Like, what does he think that boils down to? And I guess it boils down to protecting businesses from spice dealers, from drugs. Because
I guess, yeah.
Because why does he want to do that? Because when we saw him, he was a bounty hunter. He was he was a badass. If you would said that in 1980, Boba Fett just wants to protect these local businesses, you'd be like, what, this guy?
Yeah, well, and so here's the thing. His time with the Sand People, I can see how that changed him and made him good. I can see that, right?
Yeah.
So one change they could have made that would have made some of this make more sense. It's revealed in the 7th episode that, they tricked him into thinking it was that speeder bike gang that killed the Tuscans. It was actually the Pike Syndicate. What if he's known it's the Pike Syndicate it's this whole time, and that's why he's got such a hard-on for keeping them out of Mos Espa?
That would have made more sense.
Then he has motivation for what he's doing other than he's just nice now. But anyway, so he calls out the Sarlacc pit and gets ganked by some Jawas, which was great.
Right.
I thought that was fun.
That also made perfect sense because that's what Jawas would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they would do. And
they would just take it.
It tells us how, what's his name ended up with what Pretty Boy ended up with the armor.
Got hit. Cobb Vanth.
Yeah.
The Marshal in season 2, first episode of season 2 of Mandalorian.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the actor's name.
I also think it's funny. I can't remember the actor's name, but I think it's funny how, like, when he talks about throughout the show, like, oh, the Tuscans rescued me and took me in. They didn't take you in. They made you a slave.
Right.
They beat the shit out of him, tied him up, and dragged him first for, like, miles. And then later on, they're like, okay, we're just going to chain you up to a post out here in the desert and, let you just wait until we want you to go dig out melons.
Right.
By the way, Cobb is Timothy Oliphant.
Okay.
Oliphant. He was in Justified, if you ever saw that. He's really good in that.
I never have. But it was just very, like, I don't know, I found that odd, like, the whole thing of him just being a slave. Like that was the whole thing of what it was in that first flashback. Like it made sense that Tusken Raiders took him in as a slave, and then because he showed that he was strong, they eventually let him be part of their group.
Well, also because he saved their child.
Yeah,
he saved a little kid. I think that was a big part of it. Was he saved the Tusken kid, and that made the Tusken chief be like, okay, maybe this guy's all right because he saved our kid. He could have gotten away. He could have run off, and he didn't.
Yeah. So I also that monster that they find was just so freaking huge too. The one where they cut off his head with the chain, which made me think of Jabba, of course.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was cool, but it was like, why? I know they need something for him to fight with, but I just wondered like why it was there. Like they didn't detect it or anything, or it was like what was it? It wasn't. This is I guess Tatooine is a myriad creatures, I suppose, and we haven't heard of this one before, but they just invented this one to have. Well, the way I looked at it
is we don't on Tatooine. We mainly only been in certain places.
Yeah.
So we haven't. I mean, it makes sense that a giant desert planet will have different animals that live in different areas and stuff.
Yeah, that didn't bother me.
But yeah, you are right. They just what can we invent for this cool scene?
At some point, I don't have a problem with it, but at the same time, how many times recently have we seen people fight large monsters?
Yeah.
In any property. But it wasn't the worst thing. I like the Red Rodian. How often do you see?
Yeah.
How often do you see that? They're definitely going for a different alien design there, which I did like.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
And I was cool when he murdered him. I liked it when he murdered the monster. Did he just ripped him in pieces?
Yeah.
I know it amused me a lot. I just really like. I mean, the Tusken stuff, like the Jawas, like it was just nice to see all that stuff that really makes you think of Tatooine and makes you think of the first movie and stuff like that. So that also made me really happy too.
They do love Tatooine. They're going to do that with the Obi-Wan show too. And
that makes sense though.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yes, but they must think that the fans really love Tatooine because they're going to get it as many times as possible. I mean, the Mandalorian, they went there and they said the whole thing on here.
I just hope that during whatever they do with Obi-Wan, if Vader finds out he's on Tatooine, that doesn't work.
Yeah, you have to just not have Darth Vader in it. But he is in it. He is in it. So
I'm hoping this is an aside, but I'm hoping like Obi-Wan's like has some emergency where he has to go off world for a bit. He's like, and maybe that's where he meets Vader or something like that happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
Supposedly he does go off. He does leave. He goes on other planets, supposedly.
Okay. I wonder, I haven't heard that, but I haven't really looked into it too much. But I wouldn't be surprised if. Anyway.
But no, I agree. Just Tatooine is just something that needs to kind of go after a while.
I mean, Luke was trying to escape from it. I mean, Luke said, this is the backwater. It's the planet farthest from. And then every movie we're like, you like Tatooine? Here it is again.
Oh, here's not Tatooine. This is Jakku.
Yeah, Jakku. It's different, but it's the same.
And like when it, in the first episode, you do see that, you see it as a flashback and that he's, holding court in.
Right.
Okay, is it the first? No, okay, it's a different episode I want to mention, but no, wait, is this episode when you had the delegates come?
Yeah.
And one of them is it Trandoshan, what Bosk is?
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Trandoshan, I think.
Yeah.
And there's a part where the Trandoshan brings a pelt. And when I saw it watching it with my wife, and she's like, oh, it looks like a Wookiee coat that he brought him. Wookiee skin. And my reply was just, it's Lumpy. This is what happened to Lumpy.
Yeah, and real fast, can we just mention, so his armor, does it look wrong to you? Aside from the fact that he's too fat for it, does it look wrong to you?
Yes.
It looks cheaper than.
Why did they not just use the armor from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi? Like, why did they use this slightly, like, why did they remake it and it not look right? I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be repainted?
Well, I think one problem is, the lighting. It's everything's lit very brightly.
Yeah.
And it seems like in the movies it was kind of darker. At least in Empire it was a lot darker tones. So maybe it looks cheaper with harsh lighting, like fluorescent light or whatever they're using.
So I'm gonna say I've been to Disneyland and had my picture taken with like Han Solo there, and it looked really good.
Okay.
In person, but it didn't look like this. It was a different color, like it was the color it is in the movies. I don't know. It's a minor thing, but anyway, one thing they do have the same is he has this braided hair, like a braid hanging from his belt, and that's like in the character guide and stuff. That's a Wookiee pelt, and that's a Wookiee, like it's a braided Wookiee scalp that he has hanging from his belt. And then whenever you watch the Book of Boba Fett, whenever you finish an episode and there's not another episode to watch, Disney Plus suggests, oh, look at this thing we made that has all the concept art explaining how we made the costumes and the props. And it right there, it says Wookiee pelt and points to the little braid hanging from his belt. So it's so our good guy, our hero, he's got a Wookiee scalp hanging from his belt.
But he shouldn't be our hero.
Right, exactly. But that's what kind of my point. It's it's conflicting. But yeah, I did enjoy the people coming and bringing him stuff, and I really enjoyed David Pasquesi. He plays ex-husband on Veep. Julia Louis-Dreyfus's ex-husband on that. If you've ever seen that, mm-hmm. He's the major domo for the mayor.
Yeah,
and I thought he was pretty funny comic relief in this show.
Yeah, I'll agree. Yeah, he was
a little hammy, but
he was hammy. I feel like if they had just kept him being like some of the main comic relief, it would have been all right. They tried to do more comic relief, and I think his works more than others.
Yes, exactly. I thought his worked better than others. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a good character. I think he's introduced in this first episode, like everything with the mayor, like also even the first episode, you don't really know who the main villain is going to be in this show.
Yeah.
Is it in the first episode when they go to Mos Espa and they get attacked by the assassins
with the shields?
Okay, that was I like that.
Oh, that was the worst choreographed fight scene I think I've ever seen in a TV show. That was worse than like Dark Angel or like Buffy or something. Oh, that was really bad.
Hey,
they're just like slowly gyrating back and forth. It's like tomorrow, like that. This is my. I made this in the chat. I was like, they either need to recast Boba Fett or they needed to force Tamora Morrison to get in shape first, because and it's fine to not be in shape. I'm not in shape. I'm also not playing an action hero, and I'm not going in fight scenes where I have to realistically be defending myself against 5 people at once. Ming-Na Wen is in good shape. Ming-Na Wen can do some, she does kung fu and stuff. Not in the show, but
she's cool in this though.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I've had a crush on Ming-Na Wen since I was like 10 years old, and she was on the first season of ER. And I think she's normally a good actress in things I watch her in. I think she is terrible in this. Every line delivery is so bad. I don't know if it's her or if it's the writing, and then her fight scenes are so, like, I don't know. They're just badly choreographed.
Let's blame Robert Rodriguez.
I guess the thing is, it's the same thing when she showed up in The Mandalorian. I was like, oh, awesome. And then in the first episode she's in, she doesn't really do anything but shoot a gun and then get shot, right? But in the second one she's in, she's doing a bunch of stunts and they all look awful. And it's weird because she's an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and she's doing some pretty badass, if not realistic, fighting in that. Lots of gunplay, lots of flipping around, kicking people and stuff. Very dynamic fight scenes in that. Yeah. Well choreographed for TV anyway. But yeah.
I don't know. I didn't catch any of that even throughout my 2 playthroughs where I watched it where I felt like especially in the first episode where she wasn't being impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I also wasn't, I guess, paying enough attention to what she was doing or how she was, but I liked it. I didn't catch anything, but I know what you mean. Like, she is good. Like, she can do stuff.
Well, she can. I mean, she was Chun-Li.
Oh, yeah. In that movie.
Yeah. It wasn't.
And then she chases down the assassins. She's the one that brings the assassins. They kill everyone but one.
Yes, and there actually is a good action sequence there when she has her helmet on so you can't see her face, and it's a stunt woman. They're doing parkour on the rooftops, and she does like kind of a pretty cool flip to avoid getting hit. And I was like, oh, okay, now we're going. Now we're doing it. I really like the Twi'lek lady that owns the club. Yeah, it's Jennifer Beals.
I also really like seeing Twi'leks where they aren't just sexy slaves. Like, I like it that she owns a business and you have even the male, was dressed to be sexy, and it wasn't like, I like that they did more of the Twi'leks than just the female dancer.
Yeah. Right. And Jennifer Beals is like, I mean, I love her. Another person I've had a crush on since the 80s. And she's really good in that role. And I thought the stuff with her in the club was good.
Hey, and Max Rebo survived. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, Max Rebo survived. Figure and Dan, or someone of his race anyway.
Right.
They actually say Max Rebo.
I know, but I'm saying he's playing next to the guys that Figure and Dan and his band that play the it's called Space Jizz. Which is that guy, he's playing with him. Max Rebo and one of those aliens, possibly Figure and Dan, are playing together.
So cool. Yeah, they just avoided like a Big Bopper Buddy Holly scenario where the entire band gets killed.
So I watched I just watched Return of the Jedi with my son just the other night, and he is definitely on that sail barge when it blows up. So he is very lucky.
Yes.
They must have. Oh God, what's the word? I've just been watching tons of Star Trek. They must have beaten him out.
Yeah, they can't do that.
I know.
Oh, speaking of people that survived, though, the Gamorreans, the 2 Gamorrean dudes that Luke like force chokes in Return of the Jedi.
I mean, there were lots of guards. Weren't there lots of Gamorrean guards in that?
They only ever show like 2, and these 2 are specifically supposed to be. Wow. That they stayed the whole time. I was excited for them. I was like, oh, yay, they're still around.
But I also wonder why their clothes are different. I wanted to see them in the same type of costumes. They're just like half naked, and then they never put on more clothes.
Were they not in the same thing that they're in normally?
No, they have more clothes in Return of the Jedi.
They look a little different too, and it might be they look more muscular than they did, because they did not look. I don't think they looked as trim in Return of the Jedi, but I have to look at them side by side to compare them.
But it was. I also really like that where Fennec wants him to kill them, and he's like, right. Will you be loyal to me? And he, doesn't kill, and he keeps the two Gamorrean to join him, which like his only team he has.
Yeah, I like that scene.
I also didn't understand where are all the guards. Like, all he had was 2 Gamorreans, and that really was it. He had nothing.
Everybody split whenever he died, I guess.
Yeah.
Except for some people.
That's next episode. I'm trying to get anything else in 2 that. Because 2 is where you first see the mayor when he brings the assassin there, and the assassin tells him, I worked for the mayor. And then the mayor just shoots him.
Yeah.
I like the mayor. It was a good design. The Ithorian, that was to have like a little translator speaker device to that. I like that design, and that's very inventive. But I feel like that came from something else.
Yeah, the Ithorians are really cool. Like, I've always thought they were a cool looking race. It's like, that's one thing I always appreciate about Star Wars was that you had, it wasn't just pointy ears or like some nose ridges,
Mm-hmm.
They always had these inventive looking races.
Right.
And it was nice to see that it was a different alien that was the mayor and not like a humanoid type. Well, I mean, humanoid, but not like a human. Like something different.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some good stuff. 2 is 2 the only episode that has the twins I thought were going to be the villain? Like,
is that the one they show up in?
And then they leave. Yeah, they show up in 2, and I think they leave in 3. Or they leave at the end of 2. Which is weird to me. It's like, so these 2 twin huts come. Were they connected? Were they like Siamese twins?
No. I don't think so.
It was just so weird. Like, they were just so ugly. Which again, they're huts. So, but I did laugh that the green one keeps grabbing it. It looks like a big hamster, and he rubs the sweat with this hamster. That just looks like he's screaming as he's holding it.
I thought it was a nice touch. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I kind of love that they had like actual people holding them up as opposed to like a hover thing or something. It's kind of like an old style prelate or something.
It was just to show their cruelty, I think,
and their power.
Yeah.
Right. It was like a sultan of the old.
They didn't really need to be there, but I was glad that they were. I thought they were going to last longer and be more of a villain than what they were.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of thought they would too. I was like, okay, they're setting up to be, now they'll try to kill Fett, but it didn't
happen. Anywhere. I mean, they send, because I don't know Carson, is it Carsonton or what the hell is his name? The black furred Wookiee.
Chrysantan?
I know he's from the comic originally.
Oh, is he?
He's from the new comics that are canon in either the Dr. Aphra series or the Darth Vader run, the first one. He's in one of those. It's Kersentan. I got really happy when I saw him because when those Star Wars comics first came out, I was reading a bunch of the Star Wars comics that Disney did, which are canon, which are very good, by the way. And so I was happy to see him because I recognized him. And I was worried they were just going to kill him at first. I was really worried that's where they were going with this.
Yeah, I thought they were going to kill him too.
I mean, you see him in that first episode in this, where he goes after, like the first time you see him and they talk about him and then you see him. No, it's the third episode. Yeah, they're around the second and third because the third is when he attacks Boba Fett. I can't forget that because he gets saved by the biggest heroes of the entire season. So we'll get there.
Oh, God. Oh, I want to point out one other fun little bit of casting. Did y'all catch who is the voice of 8D8, which is the butler or the manager robot, that the manager droid, the one that... So
the white one?
Yeah, the white one. So in Return of the Jedi, he's the one who's assigns R2-D2 to serve drinks on the sail barge. And he's like, oh, you'll soon learn the meaning of respect and all that stuff, that guy. So he's here in this one. He's voiced by Matt Berry.
Yeah.
which I love Matt Berry so much. So that was it's really cool.
The other stuff that happens too that I forgot about, which is cool, is in the flashback, you have the train and all the stuff with the Sand People where he's trying to, there's a train that goes by and just murders them all.
Yeah. That is, that is.
No, you go first.
Well, I was going to say, I teach U.S. history, and that is straight up something that the U.S. military did.
Right.
Was have soldiers stand on trains and just pot shot Indians as they row by. Is straight up something that actually happened. So
yeah, I mean this whole Tuscan thing is kind of like an American Indian parallel, and it kind of
really
does dances with wolves in a way.
Very much, yeah. Dances with Wolves, Jeremiah Johnson, yeah.
Right, yeah. I mean, I thought the train stuff was fine. I feel like it's the third. I was thinking about this is the third train we've seen recently. We had one in Solo, a Star Wars story, and we had one in The Mandalorian. We had like a train thing. So I've kind of, when I saw it, I was like, okay, we're doing another train.
Are you with me that they don't make any damn sense?
No, you don't need a train when you have ships.
When you have spaceships,
right? I mean, I can see there being cost problem, but like you could get for the amount of space it takes up, just get a transport to fly over there, and you don't have this problem.
Yeah, I mean, really
a passenger train inside a city, maybe, but like a train going from one place. No, that's ridiculous.
I mean, unless the spice has to be like, I didn't understand that. It was just weird to me.
No, spice is what Han Solo was hauling whenever for Jabba that got him in trouble in the first place. Because he was on he dumped his cargo to, well, at least according to the expanded universe, that was what the Kessel run. Kessel was where the spice is mined.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But again, I don't know what counts anymore. But
the spice. Well, they mentioned that the spice mines of Kessel. They mentioned that, so I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's still canon. But yeah, the Kessel run, and he got stopped by Imperials, and he dumped his cargo, and that got him in hot water with Jabba. But then in the movie Solo, he does the Kessel run, and it's not that. So I don't know.
That movie, I like that movie though. So
I like that movie. All right, it's my
But you do have like with this episode, you have a couple scenes that I really like. Like I like it when he goes to the bar and you have the bike gang are being an assholes and beating up somebody and he just kills everybody in there. Like that was cool. I really like seeing him just kick ass. And that weapon that he uses, that the Sand People, the wood one that he uses before he gets the more enhanced one, that actually is a New Zealand weapon.
Yeah,
I guess, which I thought was cool when I read that.
That is cool because
I mean,
Tamora Morrison is he Maori?
I
believe
Maori, New Zealand. Yeah.
So that was cool to me. I mean, I thought it was a good action when he kicks everybody's ass and then he just steals all their bikes.
You know who those humans were in the bar, right? Do you know about that?
Oh, you talking about Shadows of the Empire?
No. In episode 2, there were Cammy and Fixer, who I think you only got this from the subtitles, but those were like Luke's friends on Tatooine.
Oh,
like there was like a deleted scene, if you know about that, where he met up with Cammy Fixer and they go into Tashi Station and all this stuff.
Yeah,
that was Tashi
to get some power converters. Yeah.
Yep. So they introduced that, and I only picked it up because I had the subtitles on, but those were Luke's childhood friends that he helped out, which is a neat little bit.
Yeah. And
it's only for the I guess the diehard fans that would.
The diehard fans who also have the subtitles on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I know like we do get a lot of trains, but I really got a kick out of them. You know, raiding this train. He teaches the Tusken Raiders how to use the bikes, and when they first see it, they try to take it apart. Like that was hilarious to me too.
That was fun.
I really liked it.
I like a good train robbery.
It was a very good train robbery. And they get messed up by trying to take it, but they do take it. And there's one Tusken Raider that is I know it's a female actress who did the stunts for it too. And you could I really liked her in there. I don't know what her name of the character was, but I just thought it was just cool when she's the one that kind of like jumps in the train at one point, goes through a window and throws Pike Syndicate guys out the window and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, she was really awesome.
It was just a very cool scene. I really liked the conductor droid where when he finally gets to the front of the train, the droid just jumps out the window.
Yeah.
It really made me laugh.
That was fun.
Yeah, I enjoy everything with the Tuskens in the show. I thought, again, if that had just been the whole series, I would have liked it a lot more, I think.
It should have been, I think. I think they should have stayed more with the Tuskens and not jump back and forth as much.
Yeah.
I think episode 2 had a lot to do with flashbacks. Also, episode 2, you have the really weird part where he's been accepted into the group after the train ride, and they give him a lizard that climbs into his nose and he starts hallucinating.
Yeah.
I did not understand any of that.
Vision Quest.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's another Native American illusion.
Oh, okay. It was just, I don't know. I was like, okay.
I mean, yeah, it was fine.
It wasn't a bad thing. Like, but I did not get it that it was a reference to Native Americans.
Yeah.
So that's a little cooler now.
Well, I mean, probably not like super culturally sensitive one, but
right. I mean, they take off the boxes. But what do people know about Native Americans?
Yeah, exactly.
But the Tusken Raiders, like, I can understand that because there were people who who were here first and had their land kind of taken away from other nations and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm okay with it. It wasn't. Yeah. To me, it's kind of cool they did that because they're reference. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Sure.
And then at the end of the episode, then he jumps into episode 3, which and he gets after the Vision Quest, he gets a stick, and now he has a Tusken stick, like the rest of them.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we get to episode 3, the best episode, right? Huh?
Wait.
Or second best episode.
Yeah, the best.
I can't tell if y'all are joking.
I'm being completely joking. Streets of Mos Espa. This is the one with the biker gang.
The Vespa gang, the colorful Vespa gang. Whenever I saw these, I was like, this is the Neutrinos from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What are you talking? Because I didn't watch this episode right when it aired. I watched it later in the day or the next day. So I had people showing images of this redhead chick, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, and they show pictures of the bikes. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I was really confused. I just kept seeing the redhead chick and in memes and stuff, and I'm just like, okay, she's pretty, but I don't understand what she has to do with Book of Boba Fett. Like, who the hell is she?
I have my friends, a couple of my friends that normally like this kind of stuff. They just flat out decided not to watch Book of Boba Fett because they thought it was going to be bad. And I was like the sacrificial lamb of the group watching it. And I was like, guys, look at this shit. And I just posted a screenshot of the Vespas and like, what on, that cannot be real. That has to be Photoshop. There's nothing less Star Wars than those freaking hover Vespas.
They're multicolored.
They're that is like a world of just part of what's so cool about Star Wars is it's like future tech that is like old and busted and rusty and scratched up. And everything is like that. And then these bright colored, just straight up Vespas with extra chrome doodads all over them. and
cyberpunk.
But it's beyond. Oh God, I hated it so much.
And this is where Boba becomes a man of the people because he's sent by a guy who's charging way too much for water to come to town.
Great Stephen Root.
Yeah, which I love Stephen Root, but that I was like, what Stephen Root, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Break up this gang. Like that was also weird. Like that's the whole purpose is he's coming here to stop this gang. And then he ends up he's like, you're charging too much. And he pays the guy for the water they took. And he's like, don't charge so much anymore. It's just the weirdest thing. Like you're a crime lord and here you're paying for water other people stole.
And weird. So the thing is, I get him not liking Stephen Root's character. I definitely get that. Like he lived among the Tuskens. He's probably got just general distaste for these. I mean, honestly, these colonizers coming in and then charging people for water on this planet where people live or die on scarcity of water. I get him, wanting. I mean, I think he should have just fucking shot Stephen Root.
That would have fit more Boba Fett. What Boba Fett was before this.
Yeah,
or exactly. What he was in Mandalorian season 2. Because he had no problem killing stormtroopers in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers is one thing. You can't see their faces, but, I guess in Disney shows, you're not allowed to kill anyone, if you can see their face.
Yeah, if they're human. You can kill soldiers doing their job. You can't kill greedy capitalists.
Right.
Because Disney was one of them. But I mean, and you see this you see this gang of people who are modded, what they call them, modders, but they have mechanic, they're droid and stuff. They're weird. Like I did like the chick with the red hair with the red arm. That doesn't make any sense. That fights with a knife.
I figured that was a reference to C-3PO's red arm.
That's how I took it
in the sequel movies. I
really like that actress. I found out I'd never seen her before, but I'm like, she looks just badass in this. I just like that.
Sophie Thatcher.
Yeah. I mean, and I was but at the same time, I'm like, there's no point to this. This doesn't need to be here. And he just hires them. They're like, you want work?
I'm telling you, it felt like they were setting her up to have her own show.
My God, I hope not.
And it's like she can have her own show, but not this character, not this whole thing.
God, please don't.
I don't know.
Please don't.
Yeah. And there is a precedent for people having droid parts because we have Lobot in Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
So we know that, okay, that's fine. We can have that. It doesn't fit, though. It really doesn't fit.
It was just the way they did it.
Nothing about them fits the show.
It was a very weird thing. I mean, it connects that he knew who they were, so that's maybe partly why he helped them as you get the flashbacks in the next episode. But it was just very strange. And then there's a chase in this episode that is one of the worst car chases I think I've ever seen. So bad. So they go see the mayor. The mayor has left, and the assistant mayor, you guys said his name earlier, he runs away in a speeder. And then the Vespa guys run after him. And it's like, it wasn't just me. Like, I rewatched it. I'm like, this is a really slow chase of them trying to go get him.
It is. Yep.
I don't understand.
Stephen Paxkezi is the actor.
I mean, he's
his name's Shays, something like that.
It shouldn't be that hard. Like, I mean, it's just such a slow chase, and they're driving around, and he's knocking things over, and it was just so stupid, and it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Robert Rodriguez he's a good director, right?
I mean, Once Upon a Time in Mexico was good.
Yeah, I'm trying to like that exactly. I mean, in Desperado, and I mean, I can't remember. Oh, he did Spy Kids, I think.
Oh,
but
I mean, that was
he did Spy Kids. I'm trying to think what movies he's done where I'm like, oh yeah, no, he's definitely, because I know he's held up as being good.
Well, he did some Mandalorian. I'm trying to think
of his movies.
He did some Mandalorian episodes, I'm pretty sure.
He did. Oh, he did several Mandalorian episodes. Yes, right. I know. I'm just like, I see Robert Rodriguez as director. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good, and then it's not, and it's not just the writing. Like it's shot, it's paced poorly. The action scenes don't look good, and I'm like, you're good, right? And then I'm looking through, and I'm like, okay, so you made a lot of stuff. I mean, I liked Desperado. I liked From Dusk Till Dawn, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and then I'm like, okay, Death Proof. There you go. Well, he was only a producer on that one though. But I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe not as much. Maybe we need to reassess Robert Rodriguez a little bit.
It's been 20 years or so since he's made anything good.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Grindhouse, but I didn't enjoy his part of Grindhouse. He did Planet Terror, which I didn't like. Quentin Tarantino did Death Proof, which I did like. But I mean, Sin City, I enjoyed the first time I saw it. Yeah, Sin City's good. Okay, yeah, I'll give him Sin City.
Go listen to that episode. I covered it.
I'll give you Sin City, but that was also 17 years ago. Oh no, I got it. Alita Battle Angel. I enjoyed that.
Okay.
There you go. All right, Robert Rodriguez. You're all right for now.
All right.
Off my list.
Some other stuff in this episode. Besides the chase, you have a good flashback where there was a scene that made me really happy for some reason. Or no, before the flashback, you see a scurry or some kind of little monster animal thing outside Jabba's palace eat another monster. And it made me laugh because that's from Return of the Jedi Special Edition.
Right.
Yeah.
That terrified me in theaters. I wasn't that young. And Peter was there. We'll get there someday. And then, I mean, so I really like that. And then I think the flashback is where he goes to the Pikes and he tells the Pikes, like, hey, you need to pay us now. And then when he comes back, he finds all the Tuskens have been killed and the Nico Sand Riders did it. It looked like. And they even killed the children too and the women. So,
yeah, that was pretty brutal.
You sure it wasn't Anakin? No lightsaber burns everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
You know, I always think back, if he would have been caught for what he did, they would have kicked him out real fast off the Jedi.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he does tell Padme that. I guess she was like, don't tell anybody about that. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you just committed genocide for a town. Like, yeah, let's keep that to yourself.
Well, maybe not just that. Maybe you just committed mass murder by wiping out a little town. So there's only 20 people, so it doesn't technically qualify. But just don't tell anyone anyway. I let's keep that secret, Anakin. Just don't say that.
Jedis are protectors. I always thought that was odd. But, I mean, so you have that, and then the way they wake him up where you have Kristen Tan just grab him and pull him out of the back to tank, now that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool, but then the way Kristen Tan was taken down kind of ruined it.
They put him in Fennec hit the cage and dropped him down. I was okay with that.
Oh, no. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Oh, you're talking about where, like, the riders come and try to fight him, and the redhead chick comes out with a little knife? Like, come on now.
Yeah, it just seems, again, I mean, it seems like we're watching two different shows with those characters. Just they needed to not be in the show. That they ruin every scene they're in.
They don't fit.
No, they don't fit. I was gonna say we do get Danny Trejo as the Ranker trainer, which I thought was fun, and he makes a reference to one of my favorite Star Wars books, The Courtship of Princess Leia.
Oh yes,
about the Dathomiri riding Rankers.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
Oh, that's from a book?
Yeah. Courtship of Princess Leia. It's where Han Solo finally proposes to Leia, or they get married. I don't think they get married in it, but
I think they do. Yeah, by the end.
Oh, do they? Yeah, but it's got some cool stuff in it. It's got Luke Skywalker gets shot down. His X-wing is like tampered with, and it like blows up, and he like uses the Force to float from like the stratosphere down to the planet. It's got the first time I've ever seen a holocron in anything.
Yeah, and Dathomir was the planet where the Rancors, I believe they were from there. Like they're native to Dathomir.
But that's set up in that book. Yeah, so that's where the Rancors are from, and that's where the Dathomiri are from, and then later in the Clone Wars cartoons, they decided that that's where Darth Maul is from and all that. And
okay, that's why Dathomir sounds really familiar.
Yeah, if you've seen Clone Wars, they go to.
It's a great name.
Yeah, and if you play Jedi Fallen Order, you go to Dathomir, and it's one of the better parts of the game, I think.
Okay,
I really
that's why.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was the same planet as the Rancors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cool. I mean,
so I like that, and I like that he got the Rancor. That was fun.
I thought it was cool how the Hutts gave it to him. It's like, here's a gift. We're sorry. And the way I took it was not to hear we're sorry, as we're going to leave now. We have the stupid Rancor. We got nothing here. Just take it. We don't want it. That's how I took it. I didn't take it to really give him a gift. It was more of, we didn't get your pals like we planned on, so we don't need this damn Rancor. Here, have it.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's how it felt. Because what are you going to do? Put him on a ship? Like, I don't feel that safe to have a giant monster in your cargo bay. Like, you seen Jurassic Park 2? It doesn't end well.
Yeah, send it back down.
There you go.
Aliens example does not end well. So I get it. Like, I was okay with that, and I mean, I was just confused, like how quickly they get rid of the Fetts, or not the Fetts, but the Hutts.
Yeah,
and like they were just gone. And then like I did like it how they want, like, yeah, you can just kill the Wookiee or sell him. We don't care. And then he just releases him. He's like, I understand you were doing a job, so I thought that was fine.
Yeah.
But then, like, this is when they start the whole, like, setting up that the Pikes are coming, and you see the Pikes getting off the ship, and the Vespa people ride away, like, oh, they're coming, and I'm like, all right, and it takes them a very long time to finally get ready, because they don't show up to, like, I think episode 6 or 7, really.
Yeah, that's why I was confused about how much time passes during these episodes. Like, I couldn't get a clear sense, but it's like, yeah, it takes a while for them to actually come.
Yeah,
I feel like it wouldn't take that long.
4 is mostly a flashback episode.
Yeah, and I personally think it's the best of the episodes that aren't Mandalorian episodes.
Right.
I think the 2 Mandalorian episodes are the best episodes of the series, but they're also not really episodes of this series. They're just stuck in there. But 4, I think, is the best actual episode of the show.
I agree.
Yeah, I was surprised that he like had Phoenix like most of her body replaced with robot parts. We've not been given any indication of that up to this point, but that's fine. But I liked their like conversation they have before they go to raid Jabba's palace, when he's like explaining, he's like, people like you and me, we always work for like bad people, and they just make things worse for people like you and me.
We work for idiots.
Yeah, we work for idiots. One of us should be in charge. We should be in charge instead.
So we have to.
I get that. You know what? I get that. I can see that, because Boba Fett was presented, at least in Empire, as like the best bounty hunter ever, and he's working for this, this idiot slug man who gets him tossed into a Sarlacc pit. We
gotta put the canon now.
Yeah,
Boba Fett called Darth Vader an idiot. I said my part.
Yeah.
You gonna say, Peter?
I was just surprised they never referred to what happened in Return of the Jedi. Like, Boba Fett never said, I wonder what happened to Han Solo, or they never referenced that at all. Like, I wonder if they were told to stay away, because like these are the people who like knocked him into the Sarlacc, I guess.
Yeah, so but I think he's like, it's business.
I guess so.
He doesn't really have any reason to. I mean, Han Solo, he already got paid for him.
That's true.
It's
and
like,
he stayed.
We're square.
And he started to stay in Jabba's palace for like, I guess, a couple months at least afterwards.
God, he must have been there for a while.
I mean, yeah, I wonder if Boba Fett, because I think Empire to Jedi, I think in the expanded universe, that's like supposed to be like 18 months in between there.
Yeah, it's a while.
It's like a year or more.
Because you had Desh Rendar and all that happen.
Yeah, because you have the Shadows of the Empire stuff happen. Right. He has to make his new blade. Presumably does some more training.
Yeah, and I don't know. Who knows why he decided to stay there? I don't think that was ever brought up.
Maybe he was just back. Maybe he just happened to come. He happened to be there on that particular time.
That's true. Yes,
That worked out well for him, huh?
Yeah, but no, I like the stuff with him, like saving Fennec, and then them showing like him there. I like a good heist episode or a good like raid, episode.
Oh, the thing that I got to mention is like you got to think about what he did. He took Fennec Shan, he finds her in the desert, drags her all the way back, gets her fixed, and then takes her back out to the desert.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of odd. I'm like, okay. But you think you just save her, not like, okay, we saved you. Okay, let's go back in the desert.
No, he knows he needs her help. He wants to get his ship back, and she's very helpful in this. And then I like their little like sneaking into the palace. I love the rat catcher droid.
Oh, the
palace called the rat catcher.
Oh, the rat catcher droid is from the Rebel show.
Oh, is that what it's from? Okay, I haven't seen.
He's in the Rebel show. There's a couple different things that I think were in the Rebel show that were here, but I can't. That was the one that jumped out at me.
I loved I was watching this with my son, and he was just laughing hysterically during the rat catcher stuff going on. So, and me too. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
and that the chef bot when it starts swinging all the blades around, like remind me of Grievous. I'm like, okay, this is
Grievous, cool. Yeah,
that was good.
It was fun. This whole episode I really enjoyed, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, I was a little surprised that his ship was still sitting there 5 years later, but that's fine. Like that didn't bother me too much.
Oh, was it? No. I thought this was supposed to be. I didn't think this was supposed to be like right before.
No, I mean he just rescues Fennec, so it has to be after season 1, after she gets shot by.
Okay,
Mando.
So it's after season 1, before season 2. So yeah, you're right. It's 5 years. Yeah. Well, maybe they don't have the. They may not have the security codes to open it.
And they just left it there.
If anybody has a ship that you don't want to try breaking into, it would be Boba Fett, I would think.
Yeah. So they're probably like, all right, just put it in the corner.
Yeah.
So we figure out who can splice this thing open.
Well, plus we're saying they, but I mean, Jabba's dead, and then Bib Fortuna's in charge for a while. I guess Bib Fortuna's there.
It's not clear like what his syndicate is up to. Like they never really say like, oh, Bib Fortuna wants this, and he never really. I guess he has those people come to pay tribute to him.
I don't think he did much.
We just don't know how well this place may not be being run very well anymore.
They make a comment how like they just kind of like the other families just kind of took over parts of the town and just didn't worry about him anymore.
Yeah, I assume Jabba was like a big. When Jabba's not there, they're like, okay, who cares about that person anymore?
Well, very much.
Yeah,
but it was still. It was cool. I mean, it's just such a cool like how they get in there and he gets the ship out and you see her Fennec fighting guards and being a badass and
this was actually pretty well choreographed too.
And I know a lot of people give it hate because when after he gets the ship back, he's like, I gotta get my armor, and he doesn't remember that he came out and the Jawas robbed him. So he sticks the ship into the Sarlacc pit almost, and then it starts to pull down the ship, and people are making jokes how Lando's the strongest person in the Star Wars world because Lando doesn't get pulled down.
Yeah.
The way I take it is that when it was trying to eat Lando, it was busy doing other things, so it wasn't as concerned. This is something was trying to hurt it. So I think it was acting differently, how I took it.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
That's fair enough.
Like, Lando, it had other things it was eating. It was eating people that kept falling in there because Luke kept tossing people in there. So, like, it was preoccupied. I didn't really care about Lando. Plus, then it got shot, so it really didn't care about Lando.
And I want to just point out, I was looking at the director of this episode, and among other things, he directed a bunch of Agents. He directed 16 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I was saying that's a show where Ming-Na Wen actually has some good action scenes. And she has a good action scene in this. And so I'm like, maybe there's something there. Maybe it's just the Robert Rodriguez is not good at directing fight scenes that aren't gun scenes. I mean,
I can see that. Because, I mean, the episodes he wasn't on are better than the ones he was on. So
this whole time, this is not really relevant to the story, but I was watching, when they throw a seismic charge in there, destroy the Starlight, I was thinking, there's no way that this, creature that's a big hole in the ground would not have been, some teenagers would not have flown over it and thrown some bombs in there much earlier. And, I'm sure I can suspend my disbelief, I guess. Okay. But like in the real world, like if there was a big hole in the desert where you threw people, somebody definitely would have blown it up at some point. Like, let's see what we can throw in there,
You're not wrong.
But I know I'm not supposed to think that way.
It was cool how they dropped that in there, and then he's like, "Don't touch my ship, or don't touch my buttons."
Right? Yeah.
Like he just saved your life, you idiot. I forget how he got the armor back in Mandalorian. Like, did he have a tracker on it that he used afterwards? I can't remember.
Did Timothy Oliphant had it?
He had it, but then Mando takes
Mandalorian took it, and then Boba Fett was able to track down Mandalorian's ship. I don't recall. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I didn't go back and watch any of the episodes where Boba first comes back because I didn't have time or care. But I was just wondering.
Yeah.
I remember him going, "Seize my chain code" in Mando season 2, but that's it.
Yeah.
I don't remember how he tracked it or anything. It's been a while. Okay, that wasn't a big deal, but it's something I thought about. And then this kind of ends with him going back to, I think almost this whole episode, nothing but a just flashback. Shows how you were kind of save one, and then it.
I think this entire thing is in flashback.
It also shows him blowing up all the Nico riders too. Yeah. Which I thought was okay. Oh, there is another part that isn't a flashback. This also made me laugh, where he goes to the cantina, and you see the Wookiee is watching these Trandoshans that are gambling and winning, and he gets mad because they were also, for those that don't know, which I got this reference, is Trandoshans were slave traders for the Wookiees.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say that these were people who had, like, that race had enslaved him, and he's watching them win and cheer, and he's like, fucking assholes. But you get it? He rips off a guy's arm. I was so happy because, New Hope, he could rip your arm off. You beat him in chess, and he just rips the guy's arm off.
Yeah, I liked it.
I couldn't help but think, I mean, that was a good scene. I do agree with you. I couldn't help but think, like, they made the Wookiee very Klingon-like. It's like, this is, like, very something that Klingon would do. It's like, I was just, like, in Quark's bar or something, I feel like this happened multiple times.
Yeah.
It really does. Except he didn't say, my honor, or anything like that.
It's for the best. For the best. He didn't say anything like that.
Yeah.
But it was just a really cool, it made me really happy. And then she's like, if you don't kill him, put him down, I'll give you, I'll wipe your debt. And he rips the guy's arm off and he hands her the coins and pays her.
Right.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah. It was unexpected.
I mean, the Trandoshans, they deserve it.
Right.
I mean, which is not canon, but in Star Wars Republic Heroes, you fight a bunch of Trandoshans on Kashyyyk when you go down there. Because they were trying to enslave them at that time.
Is that not canon?
Not anymore, no. Well, everything before Disney was wiped away, then slowly coming back.
Oh, that's from before Disney. Okay.
Yeah,
it's good game, by the way. It's better than Dark Forces, where they just call them all Bosks. It's like, you have to fight a bunch of Bosks. And it's like, come on, don't be racist. Don't call them Bosks.
No, I know what you mean. That's how I took it too. It was pretty funny for that part. I mean, and then he asks him, he hires him pretty much. He's like, hey, you can come join me and help me. And I thought it was cool he did join because, he just was another one of that, a bounty hunter. So he had no problem joining another bounty hunter. And I think you also have a scene where Fett meets with the families and tries to get them to join him, or either join him or not fight against him when the Pikes come, which is coming soon.
Yeah. I thought that was cool.
It was a cool scene. And it was cool seeing one of the aliens that was the same race as the guy who gets his arm cut off in New Hope. I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah.
The guy with the orange jacket.
Ponda Baba.
Yeah.
I forget.
Oh, yeah, Ponda Baba. Yeah.
What's the race's name? I don't remember offhand.
Oh, the other guy? I'm wanted in 10 systems.
I don't remember the race of Ponda Baba.
What Ponda Baba's race is called. I don't either. Bust out my essential character guide real fast.
Right, yes.
A Qualish.
Okay, that sounds
all right. Yeah.
And then and then they leave, and then this is when they're like, a war is coming. It's not until we break into a different show.
But first,
here's what you actually want.
And it's weird.
I have an issue with this.
Okay.
What was that?
I don't like it that it goes to Mandalorian for 2 episodes.
You are. I feel like you're the opposite of everyone.
Yes, I am. Because I agree. They are really good, but they didn't need to be here. The show should have been 5 episodes or 6 episodes, and then cut these out and put them in season 3.
No, you are right about that. This is not Book of Boba Fett. Especially this one, is just straight up. This is Return. I mean, it's even called Return of the Mandalorian.
This is the best episode.
It is. It's directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, who did the best episode of the first season of Mandalorian, the Seven Samurai, the one that's the Seven Samurai remake.
Okay.
That the one with the town?
Where they're defending the town with the ATST.
With the racist Cara Dune. Okay.
Yeah, with known monster Cara Dune. But yeah, so no, this was great, and you're right. It should not have been here. It should have been its own thing. Disney Plus should have just also had a Mandalorian interlude thing. You can do that. Like the British do that with shows sometimes. HBO did that with Euphoria because Euphoria season 2 got delayed, and so they just had like a a Euphoria special episode about one character.
Because
came out in between. You could do that.
I mean, this episode starts off and there's no Boba's not even in this episode. I mean,
he is
it's
not
the best episode of the show.
Yeah, Ming-Na Wen shows up at the very end, and that's it. And what's her name? From Strangers of Candy. What is her name? Amy Sedaris.
Yes.
Amy Sedaris is in there, and she reveals that she dated a Jawa.
The memes that came out after this episode are great. Like, people took like the famous meme of the porno meme with Brazers, and they have her sitting on a couch and a bunch of Jawas behind the couch. Just like, my God. Oh, the memes are great.
I want to see her character from Strangers of Candy saying that.
And she just keeps saying they're furry.
I think, there's got to be some improvisation there, I wonder.
I feel like it was. She's very improvisational actor. I love Amy Sedaris so much. She's so hilarious.
Yeah. I wondered if it was too much. Like, she emphasizes a lot that she did the Jawa. And I feel like the throwaway at the first line was great. And then, like, the fact that she keeps going back to it was a little much for me.
Yeah.
So... I almost like
much in this episode, but it was fun. Right. I mean, this whole episode was just fun. This was fan service for people that are sad that they didn't get Mandalorian season 3 yet. And that was me, so I was here for it. I loved it.
I agree with you, Pete. Like, it was too long with the joke. It should have been the one line, boom, go away from it, leave it alone. Like, it didn't need to come back. There was even one point she's like, I'm working on myself right now. I'm like, it was funny, but I agree, you didn't need that.
Yeah. I don't think it anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's completely terrible, but it was too much for me.
It goes on too long,
right? And I think I'm overall, I think it's a very strong episode. Like I said, I don't think it really detracts too much from the episode for me.
No, it doesn't detract. It just, when you're looking back at it, just feels unnecessary.
I do have to wonder if they knew, if like the producers knew that, okay, this is flagging, we don't have enough stuff. We were on episode 4. We better write in the Mandalorian and just go away for 2 episodes. Because it seemed like I know this didn't happen, but it almost seemed like they saw the audience reaction. Like, I know this wasn't filmed in real time, but they said, okay, people didn't like these first 4 episodes. Let's better bring the Mandalorian back. And that's not what happened, but it's almost like it did happen that way.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't, because this was filmed a while ago all at once.
But still, I definitely get that idea, because
And they had to know we don't have enough story for all this. So let's do this.
That is really how it felt. But I enjoyed it. I was like, you know what? I've been not enjoying this Boba Fett show very much, and this is everything I wanted. This is great. I'm happy.
Like, and this is also like when the episode starts, you see Mando trying to get a bounty, and he pulls out the Darksaber from season 2. And you see the most realistic thing you ever see with a lightsaber, the first time ever, he cuts himself.
Yes. Which, at first I was like, why is he acting like this freaking sword is heavy? And then they explain it. And I was like, oh, that's why. Cool. Good.
I didn't know the Darksaber was that different.
I didn't know it was either. I thought it was just a dark lightsaber. I didn't realize it was actually like this whole thing. And I'm fine with it. It's whatever.
Right. I'm
just glad they actually explained it. Because at first I was like, this is not, there's something wrong here. Why is he acting this way with it? And then it was like, oh no, okay, no, it's good. It makes sense. I mean, it's fine.
And seeing him take out these random like butchers and stuff, and then he cuts off the guy's head essentially and puts it in a bag, and then he goes out and the other guys are all looking at him, and he's like, if you want your money, your boss is dead, it's in there. And they're just like, okay, we'll see you later.
Yeah.
That's something Boba Fett would have done.
Exactly.
It was cool, and then like the whole point of this is he was trying to get information to find out where the other Mandalorians were hiding, which you only have the armor and the heavy that survived from season 1.
Yeah,
which I thought was odd, only 2 survived, but it makes sense. But
at first I was like, well, maybe they're all scattered, but then they just straight up say we're the only ones that survived,
which is really sad. I mean, I don't know, and like it was cool to me that I give him a name and he's the same clan. Have you guys both watched Clone Wars or Rebels?
No, not me.
I've watched Clone Wars. I haven't watched Rebels.
Okay, I think in Rebels, Sabine, one of the characters, deals with and fights the same last name, Visual, part of that family. And it has to do with the Darksaber, but I can't remember because it's been a while since I watched Rebels.
Yeah, IMDb has the heavy as being Kaba Baze, I think.
Yeah, but that clan, Vase, I think it's the same clan that joins the Empire in Rebels and is working with the Empire, if I remember correctly. Because the Mandalorians that aren't with the Empire, really, if I remember. It's been a while since I watched Rebels.
And he does turn out to be, I mean, he was kind of, he tried to start a fight with Mando in season 1, and then here he is, he's wanting to take the Darksaber from him. But he does do it honorably. He's like, we're going to duel over it.
And they fight, and he kicks his ass. But it's just like only 3 of you guys are left. You're like, okay, let's take off our jetpacks and kill each other now. It's like, come on.
Oh, yeah. Whenever he like went over the edge that first time, my son was like, whoa, what's going to happen? Is he going to die?
He just throws him, and like he ends up beating, and the guy takes the Darksaber, and he beats him. And this is where then, they ask him, oh, I never took off my helmet. I did.
Yeah.
But and they kick him out, and he's no longer a Mandalorian, I guess.
Unless he does his quest.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming that's what season 3 is going to be.
Yeah, you've got to go to Mandalore and like get something from underneath the palace that was blown up, basically.
And for those that, whenever Mandalore was destroyed, it happened sometime after Rebels ends. Happened sometime with then, because Mandalore, I thought Mandalore's still around in Rebels. Maybe I can't remember.
Definitely around in Clone Wars because,
well, yeah,
as we discussed on Star Wars Bounty Hunter episode, the tie-in comic takes place on Mandalore. So
I can't remember when they destroyed. I don't think it was during Rebels, but I can't remember because I know they go to it in Rebels a lot. They deal with Mandalore and Darth Maul comes
one
back.
Of the characters is a Mandalorian, right?
I'm sorry, what?
One of the characters on the show is a Mandalorian, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I really need to watch Rebels. I just, I don't know.
It's really good. It's really good. And a lot of characters come back from Legend canon that are now canon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a certain character with red eyes comes back.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say. But, and it's canon. But it was just, it's good. And I really enjoyed all this. And I liked it that then he ends up leaving. And he had, the scene where he has to go on the flight and you have to put all his weapons in the box. That was hilarious to me.
I love that. I thought something was going to happen with it.
Me too.
Nope, nothing. Nope.
It's just a little scene, just as a joke. Just like, okay.
Scene. Yeah, it was a great
And I love the thing with the Rhodian child.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps looking at him. And then when he finally gets back to Tatooine, this is where you see, and I laughed at this, you see what the hell's the name of the character?
Amy Sedaris.
Pelly.
Yeah, Amy
Pelly.
And she's getting attacked by a womp rat. That made me so happy. I'm like, we finally see a womp rat.
Yeah.
Where was Luke? He could have shot with a T-16 hopper.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what it was? I used to shoot things like that with a T-16.
Yep.
Yeah.
T-16 Skyhopper.
It was just really cool to me. I don't know. Maybe it. And then the little robot that she has is from Jedi Fallen Order. That same type of robot. That made me happy.
As BD-1 and Jedi Fallen Order, and I think it's this. They use the same voice actor. Also, I remember reading something about that.
Oh, really?
Because Peter, you never played Jedi Fallen Order, correct?
No.
Okay, it's a good game.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with Dark Souls, and Jedi Fallen Order, I call it like easy Dark Souls in space. It's a lot of fun. I like it a lot.
You can play it on easy.
Say what?
You can play it on easy, and it's easy. Not on hard difficulty.
Is there an easy? I don't know about that, but it's just
it was easy for me on easy.
It's easier than Dark Souls, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, but it was also really easy on easy. But yeah, it's hard on any other difficulty. I tried normal. But It was cool to see that. It was cool to have them, link in a droid that you just saw once before and now was in something else.
Yeah, and from a video game. Yeah. And one of the few things from episode 1 that I would save in a fire are the pit droids. And they're in this, so that's cool.
I like it that she has a Naboo starfighter. And it makes sense because the Naboo were there, so it makes sense that one could have crashed here at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it makes complete sense that 40 years after Naboo basically has been, it's not been destroyed because according to the God, I hate what they did.
Wait, was Naboo destroyed?
No, it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. Like Naboo's still around, but my point is like these Clone Wars era starfighters would be all over the freaking place, 40 years later, the way that you're, seeing like, 1970s pickups and stuff around.
Yes, but we also didn't have a government organization that made sure to get rid of everything from that era.
I guess, but I mean, why would they have gotten rid of a Naboo starfighter? Like
they got rid of everything, I feel like, because they were controlling everything
from Naboo. I mean,
well, maybe just fell under the radar. You can't check every garage.
Yeah. No,
also the fact that any of these weapons or these vehicles are not they're not traced.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is also Tatooine was outside of the Empire's control.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was. I mean, it was technically like under their control, but it wasn't like heavily. It wasn't garrisoned or whatever.
It was run by the Hutts mostly, I think.
It was right. Yeah, it was left to like the crime syndicates and stuff. And
Peter, is Tatooine's probably mentioned a lot in the legend stuff, right? Like what was going on with it, I'm assuming?
I mean, I feel like it's pretty accurate to what's been happening. I mean, it was pretty much controlled by the Hutts, and I don't think the Empire didn't have a presence there. You know, only in the first movie did you see them kind of go down there to find the droids, but they weren't there for in any meaningful way. But I think, you know, there was a way to join the Academy from Tatooine, something like that.
Well, yeah, because Luke said that that was Luke and Biggs. That was their plan, was to leave and join the Academy. Yeah,
there's probably like an office there. Like, if you want to join the Empire, but it could have been like two guys, you know, in a little booth. So
presumably Luke was going to be a TIE fighter pilot.
Right. Yeah.
Like our version of the military, just, you know, a little army recruit station.
Well, yeah. Everyone, he wanted to join.
I got stationed on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
No, I was completely fine with the Naboo starfighter being there. Like somebody was saying they thought it was too fan servicey, and I was like, it's whatever. It's fine. It's a neat little nod to one of the few neat things about that first movie.
Right. I mean, I kind of thought, I saw it when I was like, okay, it's a little fan servicey, but wasn't that fighter supposedly one of the best fighters that they had at the time? So like, I don't know, the N1, wasn't it like, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that one got there. So I kind of shrugged it off.
I mean, I figure after, you know, whenever, in the same way that, you know, if you've got $75,000 in an adventurous spirit, you can buy an old Russian tank, you know?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So I figure it's the same kind of thing.
I can't remember much about how good those ships were or anything. I mean, just when I saw this episode, it reminded me that there's a Star Wars Battle for Naboo game for 64.
Yeah.
In Star Wars Rogue Squadron, you could unlock the Naboo Starfighter, and it was like the best. I think like it was the best fighter that you had.
It was fast. I know it was super fast.
What you see in this episode. Game.
Yeah.
Like after he builds it, you see
when
him
he
just
smokes the X-Wings. I loved it.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And we brought back the one older Asian
pilot.
Right.
Yeah, that was in Mandalorian. He's gonna be playing Uncle Iroh in the live action Avatar series on Netflix.
Oh, I was happy until you said Netflix. I'm like, oh no.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not gonna be on Netflix. I think it's.
I don't trust Netflix.
It could be Amazon
adaptations of things anymore.
If that's better.
They didn't make Cowboy Bebop into something terrible, so you know. That's another episode.
It's okay. It wasn't that bad.
I hated it, but I didn't even finish it. That's another episode we'll talk about. I
didn't finish it either, actually.
So it wasn't that bad.
I didn't. I was like, no, this is fine. This makes me want to watch the show. So I started rewatching the anime instead.
I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Like just seeing Mandalorian and seeing them put together the ship was really cool. Like it was a very cool little scene. Seeing how fast the ship was, and then also you have him. He takes the Beskar spear that he got earlier in Mando, and he turns it into armor. I don't know how they. All I could think of was like, oh, he has mithril. That's all that went through my head.
Yeah, I saw her briefly making rings. I was like, oh, he's gonna make He's gonna make Beskar chainmail for Grogu. That's wonderful.
This Grogu has more secrets up his sleeve. Is that how the line go? It's been a while.
Oh, I don't remember.
Nothing, Peter?
Yeah, I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about, at least, though. You know the joke I'm trying to make. Oh, off topic, but I just want to mention it.
Yes.
Lord of the Rings extended editions are on HBO Max.
Yeah, they are.
So I know what I'm doing at some point.
I have
over the course of a week,
but I would rather I actually rewatched them on HBO Max over Christmas break rather than go into the room I'm sitting in right now and get the DVDs off the shelf. So.
Bring me some. But some of the other stuff, like you see him get the Naboo, and then this is where you see where Fennec finally shows up at the end of the episode and says, "Hey, you know, we need muscle," and he's like, "I gotta go visit someone.
I'll do it for free." He said he'll do it for free, but he's got to go visit someone first.
And I had thought that this would be the end of him in this show, be the one episode, and then he would show up in the end. I was not expecting
the next episode. Yeah, exactly. I thought that he would show up in the last episode, kind of at the last minute, and save the day, maybe.
Yeah.
Not have another episode.
I didn't like it that they had 2 episodes dedicated to Mando. It kind of bothered me. And this one isn't really even dedicated to Mando. This one is just, let's add more story to this universe we're making now.
I mean, I loved it because
it was good.
I wanted more Mando. So it was great. And this one at least had some Boba Fett show relevant stuff going on at the end. And Boba Fett's actually in this one for like 15 seconds. So
it was just weird to me because it starts off with the marshal, stopping some pikes with spice. Okay, that makes sense. I'm like, all right. I mean, they're going to get involved now, but I'm thinking to myself, can't you just go around the small town he has? Like when you deal with the spice, like can't you just drive somewhere else?
Not now that he's challenged them. They'd be showing weakness if they don't go in.
I mean, they have a train. Just drive by. Go fly by. I'm like, I don't get it.
Lose your face. You gotta save face.
And the fact that they keep taking that ice cream maker from Empire Strikes Back as a joke, when the guy's running around with a futuristic ice cream maker, and they use it all the time as cases in the show.
Yeah, I enjoy that. That was fine. So I want to say on this episode that Luke looked way better than he did at the end of Mando season 2.
Yes.
And have y'all heard the behind the scenes on that?
So didn't they hire the guy who did a deep fake of Luke?
Yeah,
Am I correct?
yeah. A fan did a deep fake on YouTube and showing how you could have made it better, and then they hired him.
Right.
And it's not confirmed that he did this, but Disney hired him to work on Star Wars stuff, and then this looks way better.
The thing
that was a smart move on their part.
Yeah, it was. I love it. Yeah. It is just like with what Mercury Steam hiring some of the people that worked on AM2R to help with the Metroid Samus Returns. Yeah.
What I don't understand is why don't they recast Luke? Like find someone that looks like Mark Hamill at that age and just recast.
They're showing off their technology.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it looked fine in this one.
It did.
It didn't bother me at all in this one.
It's going to get better.
I know, but it's just like Mark Hamill's an old actor. Like, it's like just recast someone that you can use then for years and just move. Like, I don't know.
Or hear me out. You can make Star Wars that doesn't have to revolve around one fucking family for 9 damn movies. You can do that also. That's something else you can do. As much as I love seeing Luke Skywalker, we can do something new. But
no, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, in the long run, it's going to be cheaper to do, deep fakes of actors coming up.
They don't have to have actors in it at all anymore.
Right.
It's going to be just all deep fakes.
And I will notice, like, in the first part, when there was, like, good lighting on Luke, you do not see him talk, which is, like, the one thing that people notice. Like, his mouth doesn't look right. So they kept his voice off screen for a good 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And that was also a smart move. But I know why they did it, because they knew it would look Uncanny Valley. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this was cool. Like, that Mando goes to this, he goes to the planet and you see, where he's building the temple and you see these ant bots that are building the temple up. Like, that was really cool to see. I mean, I knew Grogu wasn't going to stay there because I'm like, if he stays here, that means he's dead before Force Awakens gets here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we've got 20 years before Force Awakens, I think.
Yeah.
About so.
But he wasn't.
Well, yeah. When does Kylo kill or do his?
When does he turn?
When does he turn? I guess how many years afterwards? I don't remember exactly when this.
There's a comic that actually talks about all that.
Yeah.
That is canon that I really want to read for the show.
But still, I think Grogu could probably hang out with Luke for 15, 20 years before he has to worry about that.
Yeah, but then Mando season 3 wouldn't sell as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're going to have Baby Yoda. I mean, Mandalorian, for a large amount of the people that watch it, Baby Yoda is the main attraction for that show.
Right.
You have to have him.
You got to have him in there.
It was just I don't know. It was an episode that also didn't really fit to me that it belonged here. I mean, I liked it. Like, I like seeing all the, where you have Ahsoka. Yes, thank you. I don't know why I can't say it all of a sudden. Ahsoka. She shows up, having her there wasn't really like, why was she here at the same time? But okay, she just come in to see Luke and check on him because he's building the temple. Okay, fine. He got his first student. Fine. But I was just like, she really shouldn't be here, I felt.
Well, to be totally honest, she shouldn't have survived Clone Wars. But
you have not seen Rebels.
I know. I mean, I know that why, but I still am kind of. I've seen. In
non-spoilers, she didn't survive Clone Wars.
Oh, okay.
There's more to it, how she is around in Rebels than I'm going to get into. But
all right, I'll watch Rebels then.
She didn't actually survive Clone Wars. Well, okay, she survived Clone Wars.
I like her character in Clone Wars, but I'm kind of like, I think having any Jedi other than Yoda and Obi-Wan be alive at the beginning of the original Star Wars trilogy dilutes that trilogy a little bit.
They do things with the character that she should. I'm not going to go into too much, but she survives Clone Wars, and then things happen in Rebels that explain where she was when the movies were happening and why we don't see her. They did stuff with the character, and she doesn't exactly survive every. Yeah, there's stuff.
I hear you. Okay.
Watch it.
Well, anyway, I agree with you. I don't think either of these episodes fit in the series. I disagree in that I was like, oh, good, I'm getting a break from Boba Fett, and I'm getting to watch the show I want to watch, so this is good.
But that's not what it should be.
But no, it's not. No, they should have had a stronger series that didn't need this in the middle of it.
No, and I mean, it was cool to see it. Like, I enjoyed seeing, I didn't really enjoy seeing Ahsoka because it just, to me, just didn't feel right. But there was that scene where she's talking to Luke and she kind of mentioned something about his mother. And I was just like, okay, that is cool because she knew his mother and his father.
Yeah, that's true. I actually particularly enjoyed that conversation.
Like, there's also comments where she says, I'm not going to train Grogu. That if you watch Rebels, you understand, and all clone, like, you understand why she made that comment.
Okay.
Why she doesn't want to train anybody. Well, one, in the Clone Wars, she's she gets, if you saw Clone Wars, she's no longer a Jedi at the end of that because she leaves the Order because they betray her, kind of. But because of things that happen in Rebels too, she's just like, I'm not interested in training anybody. But you kind of see why.
Right.
And it's just cool to have that. And I mean, you're going to need to watch Rebels by the time the Ahsoka show comes out. But that's kind of what this felt like too. Was just like we're setting up the other shows that we have coming in the future, so we're going to have her here. And it's just, I don't know, it's just weird to me. I mean, it was still cool. Like, it was just, and then the very end of this, you have Grogu is Luke deals in absolutes apparently, just like a Sith, because, who knows, because he's a Sith, I guess.
Well, so, he's talking about it's about attachment and all that. I get it.
It didn't work out very well, did it?
Yeah. No, it didn't. And
I mean, they tried to stop Anakin.
Did a good job of being, like in the expanded universe, Luke gets married twice. After
she tried to kill him first a few times in a couple books.
Oh no! He doesn't marry what is the one that he is in love with and she dies? I can't remember her name.
Peter?
And who?
Say it again.
Luke's girlfriend that's in the with the children on the ship in the books. I can't remember. He's in love with her and then she dies. I think she gets her mind uploaded into a computer or something. I don't remember. No. She gets her mind put into the body of someone who doesn't have the Force.
Was her name Callista?
Yes, Callista. Yeah.
I figure Peter might know.
But I don't remember much more than that. Yeah. It's been a long time.
She was in Children of the Jedi was I think the first one she was in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he married Mara Jade and
Mara
Jade got killed by Jason Solo. It's all good stuff.
Yeah. I know Mara Jade a little bit because me and Pete have been going through Star Wars Heir to the Empire trilogy.
Oh yeah.
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 The comics.
The comics. Oh cool. Yeah, I have the
comic adaptation of the books.
Yeah, the that's all good. The books and the comics are good. But anyway, like I was saying, in the expanded universe, I liked that Luke kind of was like, the Jedi were wrong about attachment. It's okay to love people. Having someone to love gives you something to fight for. And I didn't like it. The Anakin turning, if Anakin had been able to be open with his relationship with Padme, he never would have had to be seduced by a Sith in the first place. But anyway,
he wouldn't have bad dreams. He would have been okay.
So I enjoyed the very end of this episode a lot.
Yes.
It was good. It was good to see, and then you get ended with seeing the training where Luke is running around with Grogu and he puts him in the backpack like Yoda, like that. That was cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
It was cute. But I really like with Cad Bane at the end. I felt like that was a really good reveal.
Yeah, it was very tense.
I didn't know it was coming, and I heard the spurs, and I turned to my son. I was like, "Ooh, I bet you, it's that bounty hunter from Clone Wars."
I had this spoiled for me because I didn't watch this episode right away, and on the internet, people kept showing pictures of Cad Bane, not from here, but just everything was Cad Bane. I'm like, "Oh man, I bet he's in this."
Yeah. I thought
Peter,
it was really
you watched Clone Wars, right? Before?
Only some of it. I mean, I knew who this person was, so I knew he had a following.
Okay.
So he wasn't complete. I mean, it was surprised to me that he was in it, but I wasn't squealing with joy, I guess, because I wouldn't have too much attachment. But I can certainly see why people would do that.
I'm just glad that he had a live action appearance, and also there's an episode that never came out of Clone Wars that is supposed to be how Boba Fett has that ding in his helmet always that Jango Fett didn't have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Supposedly they had an episode written that never got shot and animated and created where Cad Bane is the one that worked with him, and then they had a mission that went wrong. He shot him in the head, and that's why he has that dent, and that's their issue with each other.
Well, there is an episode where Boba Fett and him are working together, isn't there?
Yeah, we're both it's a kid.
Yeah, we're like child Boba Fett and him. Yeah, because I remember them being like interacting in Clone Wars.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's the heist episode or when they're trying to break out a hut, I think.
Yeah, they're trying to break Jabba the Hutt's cousin out of jail.
Yeah, who got killed later on.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool seeing Cad Bane. It was a cool fan service thing to have him here.
I like his character. I love anytime they bring like Wild West stuff into Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
I like it a lot. And so I like his character design. I always liked him. I liked him in Clone Wars. I thought he was a good villain in Clone Wars, and him showing up and it being the voice actor that did him in Clone Wars.
Yeah, that was a great voice.
Yeah.
It was a good move.
That voice actor does a lot of voices. He's been in so much. He's been in like thousands of things, and he's voice of Count Dooku in the Clone Wars cartoons.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He does several voices of it, but those are like the two big ones are Cad Bane and Count Dooku.
Oh, more power to him. I feel like they need more voice actors to do these things.
So Peter, Cad Bane's not the same race as Thrawn, right?
No, is it a Duro? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he just has this blue skin, but he's not what Thrawn alien. Thrawn is like almost human or whatever.
Okay, but Thrawn's also like there's very few of him, right, or something?
I know he's called a Chiss. I don't remember what the deal with his race is.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I think it's something mysterious. Like they're like not a race that they're near human. They maybe don't get out much or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
I can't remember either. I haven't read enough Legends canon or stuff like not canon, but Legend material and other Star Wars.
Yeah, it's been 20 years at least. So yeah, I can't say I do.
But it was, and then this brings us, and then right before Cad Bane had showed up, you have a very small scene where Mando goes back to and he meets with and tells the marshal that like join us, help us, and he's like no, not we'll see, and then Cad Bane shows up and kills him supposedly. And then it brings us to the last episode, which I didn't get to rewatch after this had ended, but I watched it the day it aired because I didn't want to get spoiled and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember liking this episode.
I liked parts of it a lot.
Is it pretty early when Grogu shows up on the X-Wing though?
No, it's near the end. I mean, not the very end. It's in like the last like 15 minutes. It's
also,
it's like at the climax.
The end of the other episode is where you have them where the Pikes bring a bomb in the ice cream machine and blow up the bar. And Max Rebo, it's not there. He took the day off, they said.
Oh, yeah.
He's not in that scene. So he didn't, this time he wasn't there to die.
There you
so.
go. He's always getting away from these things, huh?
They have to make that a bit that every time he just leaves, he takes a sick day, something bad happens.
Yeah.
It was just funny that people keep making that joke online, and I rewatched that scene, and I look, and you don't see him in the bar.
Yeah.
He's not there.
That's funny.
He got away. It was just funny. It's like, because they know people liked him, so like, we're just going to not have him here.
That's good.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't remember a whole lot about this episode. I know that like they go in that building that got blown up, and they do a standoff, which reminded me of Mandalorian season 1 again.
Yeah.
Which was okay. And then I didn't understand why he doesn't have an army. He has the Wookiee in one spot. He has the idiot mods in one spot, guarding another part of the town.
Yeah.
And the Gamorreans, the 2 Gamorrean guards with axes in one spot. Like, you think he would have had more people.
Well, that's a typical Western, though. In a typical Western, like the good guy has only a few friends, and the bad guys outnumber them, and they have to show.
And man, do they outnumber them too? God, they must send like 50 people at them to just be like shooting fish in a barrel. It was just like a nonstop. It was a slaughter, and they're like, okay, now we'll send in the invincible droids.
And they kill the 2 Gamorrean guards, and there's so many memes that have come out of that now since they just throw them off the cliff.
Yeah, and they just. I also thought it was convenient that the people that have blasters got attacked by people with blasters, and the people that don't have blasters got attacked by people with knives. And the Wookiee does have a blaster, but he also gets attacked by just a mob of people with knives. And then he doesn't shoot them. He shoots one, and then otherwise he just sits there and beats them with his gun until he gets stabbed too much. But I was like, why not? Why do you have knives? Like,
because I also like there was Trandoshans that the family's turned against them and sided with the Pikes because they make a lot of money.
yeah.
I like that Trandoshans went after the Wookiee. I thought that was cool. They wanted revenge for him.
Sorry, I didn't even notice that. That's a good point.
If the Trandoshans went after him, the Aqualish go after the biker gang. Unfortunately, don't kill everyone but the redhead. Unfortunately, some survive, but the redhead. I really liked her. Okay, I did not like anybody else, but I liked her, and I'm just like, kill everyone else. Let's keep her alive. But it was just so. I mean, that gang. I thought that gang was going to die for sure, and I'm like, you're doing fan service. Just get rid of the gang. But then Fennec saves them at one point.
Yeah, Fennec just starts sniping everybody from a hidden rooftop, which is what she's supposed to be good at. So that's cool.
Yeah,
and you have a small scene where when they because Mando's there, so it's just Boba and Mando are in this hut trying to fight off all the Pikes, and I think there's one point where they say, okay, we're going to give our surrender terms, and they send out the Twi'lek, who's the assistant mayor, and he starts reading it, and they trick him.
Yeah,
yeah. I thought it was. Part of me thought it was a funny scene, but I felt like he definitely would have read those terms before he walked out there.
Yeah.
I know they're setting up a bit, but I was just like, I didn't believe that he wouldn't look them over. He's just like, okay, write them down. Okay, good, I'll go out there.
Yeah, it was fine. It was a bit. It's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he finally survived because he's a good character.
And the memes that came out of this are hilarious. They're like, Boba Fett will only surrender when pigs fly, and then you see the pigs falling off the cliff. I mean, so there were a lot of good memes that came out of this, but I was just like, yeah, you think he, would have? Yeah, I agree with you, Pete. He would have read what they're giving him before he went out there to go, tell a bunch of people, drug lords, like, hey, we're not actually surrendering.
I guess it works. Yeah, works for the humor.
It was a cool fight too to see them kind of gunny. I think does Cad Bane show up at this part too, or is he later?
He's after the droid Dekas or whatever. Or
the Scorpion droids.
Those were cool to see.
I thought they were really cool.
Right.
I mean, because they're essentially droidekas, but enhanced from Clone Wars.
They're like giant droidekas.
Yeah.
And they had the shields, and they can't go through the shields. Like, I was like, oh, you just walk through the shield. That's what you do. You take a blue ball, walk through it, and hit it with a blue ball. Nope, not in here.
They don't have the blue balls.
Well, you can't get through the shields either.
Jar Jar.
But you can't even get through the shields. Like, in a... Am I wrong? Can you get through the droideka shields? No, maybe they can't. Okay, maybe I'm thinking wrong. No, it's been a long time. But it was just really cool to see. It was a nice fan service, I felt, to take the droidekas and enhance them. And it makes sense that this Pike Syndicate didn't want to use them at first, because the mayor also didn't want... The mayor's working with them. He's like, I don't want you destroying my town. It all made sense.
Oh, yeah. I get that. Okay, I didn't think about that. I was like, why didn't they just send these things first?
Because they weren't supposed to destroy the town. So it to me is like, okay, you had a reason for why they did it, because they didn't have a choice, because they weren't going to lose. But it also made sense why they waited. Like, I was good with all of it.
Yeah.
And then Grogu comes and on the X-Wing, and then he joins them, and he actually fights too. And then Boba Fett rides a Rancor.
Yeah, which I think was supposed to be a reference to the cartoon where he rides the dinosaur.
Well, I had showed the meme
Megasaur
to you guys after they had that where which I forgot to mention in this episode, but when he first gets the Rancor, he's like, "Oh, I rode monsters 10 times this size," and immediately what I thought.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a reference to it.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good though.
It was fun.
It was a good little.
No, I liked it. I was fine with it. This was a fan servicey fun episode. I really enjoyed everything not involving the Vespa gang. I enjoyed them. So they just, anytime they're on the screen, I just go, ugh, and it kind of ruins it for me. But the rest of this episode was good. Yeah. I like the Cad Bane and Boba Fett like squaring off in the street, like Old West style. And then Boba Fett being like, no, not today.
And he stabs him. Okay, and he stabs him with a stick. So do you guys think Cad Bane is dead?
No, I mean he should be, but no, they'll bring him back for something.
What about you, Pete?
He's too good a character to get rid of, I feel like.
Yeah.
But so they'll probably find some way.
Okay. I mean, he doesn't even show up at all in Rebels, by the way. Like they put him away after Clone Wars, and that was the end that you see him.
Okay.
I thought he was in Rebels.
Maybe I'm hallucinating and don't remember. I don't remember him being in
the voice actor a minute ago. It said that he was in Rebels, but he may have been other voices in Rebels.
I thought he wasn't in Rebels, but maybe I just don't remember because it's been a while. Oh, I know he's mentioned once in Rebels, and he's mentioned in a book in Rebels, and then in an episode there's a graffiti of him. That's it.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, he's not actually in the show at all. He just has graffiti of his face. Because the people thought he died and he wasn't around, and this was kind of showing he's still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good.
I think he's also in Bad Batch.
I have not watched Bad Batch for some reason.
I haven't watched it either,
No,
but I
I
just looked it up and I saw screenshots of him in Bad Batch. So
That was the one. Okay, he's in that. That was this one show I just could not do. I need to go back to it. It's the only animated show of Star Wars I just could not watch of the canon stuff.
Yeah.
Just couldn't do it. It doesn't help that Bad Batch was coming out, episode a week, and I'm just like, I need to wait until this is all done. Plus, I think I'm tired of anything to do with the clones at this point.
Yeah. And then after Fett stabs Bane, and as far as we know, kills him, but maybe not, we get Grogu putting the Rancor to sleep, which I really enjoyed. Again, it was fan service, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was also predictable.
Yeah, because like, what is Grogu going to do here? He's only able to do one thing: stop the rampaging beast.
Yeah, that's because we've watched him do this before.
Right. Yeah.
So.
I do think that was a good scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what he should be doing. I mean, it's the whole thing of Yoda should never have had a lightsaber, right? And it's the same kind of thing. Like, we don't want to see this little puppet with a lightsaber.
Right.
But it's powerful with the Force. Let it do that kind of stuff. That's cool.
He was supposed to underestimate Yoda as like, oh, this little guy can do all this stuff. And when you see him flipping around and stuff, it's a little different.
Yeah. That is another reason I'm glad that he's rejoined Mando, because I felt like I felt Grogu training with Luke was the puppet was not looking great when it's like jumping around and stuff. I'm like, we need to maybe keep him not doing acrobatics. We need to. He's gonna be doing acrobatics if he's training with Luke. We need to get him away from Luke here. But yeah, no, I liked it. I liked the this whole episode. I thought was pretty good.
It was good, and then the Pikes get kicked out because of that, and then you have a very small scene at the very end of this after the credits where Cobb Vanth is recuperating in the back to tank, and they see him. You see him working on him.
Yeah. Yep. I'm fine with that.
I didn't understand. Like, I'm like, no season 2. No season 2. Like, no.
It took some of the impact away from him being killed in the first place. That's kind of a problem. I think that I mean, a lot of shows have, but it's.
Well, you didn't need to save him.
Yeah. We didn't need for the Rancor. I mean, the Wookiee to live either. Like, we saw him die, and then he's back, and he's all right. No, he's cool. He's good.
I disagree with that. I'm happy. I wanted him to survive more.
Yeah.
Because to me, he's more of a character than Cobb Vanth is just it's just justified, essentially the same character.
Yeah.
But in Star Wars. But he's just a marshal. He's not anyone that like people like, oh, like the Wookiee that with a pit fire that just looks badass. Like, no, keep him. I didn't want Karstan to go anywhere.
But I like Cobb Vanth because, again, I like the Western stuff. So
yeah, that's probably why they kept him.
Yeah. Well, I figured they were going to use him I figured he's going to show up in Mando season 3. I don't think there's going to be another Boba Fett season. I doubt it.
I hope not. I really hope Book of Boba Fett was a one-time thing, and then Boba just shows up in different things and Luke kills him at some point. That's what I want.
I really hope so too. Yeah.
Peter, anything about the last episode you want to say still?
No, I think I've said all I need to say.
All right, and that will bring us to Shelf Stacker Box. And I'll go first. This one, like, I enjoyed watching as each episode came out. I looked forward to it, but after rewatching everything but the last episode, and I just, like, I'm good. I also agree with what you guys said at the top of the show, that I don't need it again. Like, I don't need to rewatch it. Hell, when I showed it to my wife, she got through the first episode, she's like, I'm done. And she wouldn't even watch the second episode with me. She had no interest. She's like, nope, I'm good. This is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you gotta watch more. And she's like, nope. And that was the end of that. And it kind of like, I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's just not that entertaining. So for me, it's going to go in the stack because I did enjoy it, but I didn't like it enough that I really want to put it on the shelf. But I'm glad it exists, but I don't want any more of it. And I want them to go on to other things. What about you, Peter?
So I suppose if you're a Star Wars completist, you can put it in the stack. I feel like most people can probably just shelve it if you're just a casual fan. Personally, I thought it was uneven. There were some really good parts, and there were some parts that didn't make sense, as we've talked about. I feel like on the whole, it kind of ruins the mystique of Boba Fett because you kind of get the opposite. You kind of see a Boba Fett that has not been established before and doesn't make sense with a lot of what was previously established. Like I said, I do like some bits of it. The Mandalorian stuff was fine, but that didn't need to be there either. And just a lot of the choices they did were either, reused from other sources or just, I didn't care for them. So I don't know. It's a very meh Star Wars property. I don't think I'll ever revisit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are you going to put it? The box?
I put it on the shelf for casual fans or in the box for non-casual. I'm kind of in between. It's teetering on the edge.
All right. What about you, Kerry?
Yeah, it's going in the box. It's going in the boo. It's going in the boo box. No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't regret watching it. I enjoyed watching it with my son. That always gives me a little bit of, watching these kind of Star Wars. Like I can even enjoy the Star Wars sequels somewhat, a little bit, kind of when I watch them with him, And so I enjoyed this all right. I don't feel like there's any chance I'm ever going to watch a second of it again, though. So it can go in the box.
Okay. All right. And that wraps it up for that. And before we go on to plugs, the first thing I want to say, if you need more Star Wars, well, we have better Star Wars episodes for you. We covered more better stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull that up as soon as I hit buttons. We have covered Star Wars Heir to the Empire, Comic 34, Star Wars The Mandalorian, Season 1, TV 2, Star Wars Dark Empire 2 / Empire's End, Comic 30, Star Wars Dark Empire, Comic 27, Star Wars The Force Unleashed, Episode 115, Star Wars The Mandalorian, Season 2, TV 1, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, Episode 87, Star Wars Knights of the Republic, Part 1 and Part 2, Episode 69, Star Wars Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, Comic 6, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, Episode 48, Star Wars Holiday Special, Film 6, Star Wars Republic Commando, Episode 21, and our first Star Wars Dark Forces, Episode 13.
Mike, do you like Star Wars?
Yes, I do. And there's going to be a lot more coming. There's already more recorded that isn't up yet.
Yeah.
At the time that you hear this, so.
Yeah.
There's another comic already in the can. Just waiting to come out. Star Wars Dark Force Rising.
That's awesome.
And the comic wasn't. So it goes in the episode. Okay, and Peter, where can people find you at?
You can find my book, The Fifth Civilization, through Amazon. It's available in ebook or paperback format. Check it out if you like Star Wars or sci-fi or any sort of adventure tales.
If I didn't worry about copyright every episode you come on, I would start with paperback, right? But my episodes get shut down really fast unless I sing it. So
yeah, you can only sing a few bars of that, then we have to pay Apple Music.
You're probably not wrong, to be honest. I can see them doing that. I assume Michael Jackson doesn't own the Beatles music anymore.
I don't know who owns it.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Disney soon enough.
Not us.
And Kerry, where can people find you at?
Hey, so I'm on Twitch, Kerrooseta, Kerooseta, Kerrooseta. I play a lot of Dark Souls games on there. I'm going to be streaming a lot of Elden Ring coming up here in a few days or 6 days. So be on the lookout for that. This is
already out by that time.
Oh yeah, this is already out by then. All right, well then go check out my Elden Ring streams.
Because this comes out early March.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Then yeah, go check out my Horizon Forbidden West streams at that point.
Oh, and also you will hear all three of us again in the future when Obi-Wan drops all 6.
Hell yeah. I'm looking
So that's the next thing we're going to cover of this group.
Speaking of something I would say from the prequels, it's Obi-Wan. The Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan. I like him.
I'm excited for it. I have high hopes for Obi-Wan show because it was originally supposed to be a movie and it's just 6 episodes and it's going to be, and I'm pretty positive it's a one-time thing. There is no ever season 2. They're just a one-time thing.
There's no reason to have a season 2. We know season 2 is Darth Vader kills him on the Death Star. We don't need a season 2. But I love Ewan McGregor. I thought he's like one of the best things about the prequels. So
yeah, I agree.
I'm excited.
It's going to be, well, I'm excited too.
I mean, this show makes me a little cautiously excited. But
right. I feel like everything with Star Wars, we have to qualify that. It could be good, but if it's bad, I won't be surprised.
But you know what? For every book of Boba Fett, there's the Mandalorian. For every Rise of Skywalker, there's Rogue One. I mean,
hey, Rise of Skywalker was really good. You just turn off your brain, you just watch it once, and you never think about it again.
I feel like this has come up in every Star Wars.
It does. So. Every time you mention, because I am actually not going to rewatch Rise of Skywalker until we do it for the show someday. And I want it to wait as many years as I can so I can come into that movie with a great idea and then just be brokenhearted at the end of that recording.
I like that idea. I like it.
Oh, that's the last movie I saw before the pandemic.
Yeah, me too.
Because I left it really happy. I was crying. I had tears at the end of that movie. That's how great and it wasn't tears of sadness. It was tears like, oh my God, this is so good.
You didn't look at your wallets and say, oh.
I really did have tears. I was so happy. And And I think you told me at one point on recording, you're like, yeah, don't ever go back to it. Just keep that memory and walk away.
Just keep that memory. That's right. My son says it's his favorite Star Wars movie, and whenever he says that, I go, okay, that's cool. That's cool, dude. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. Let's watch Empire Strikes Back real fast, though.
I did like that movie the other night.
When we finished watching Book of Boba Fett, I was like, all right, now we need to watch Return of the Jedi real fast.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, all right, now we need to watch Empire.
I don't like Empire.
Oh, Empire is my favorite movie.
Not mine.
Okay, Mike. We well know your rankings of what Phantom Menace #1 and
no, Last Jedi #1, right?
New Hope is #1,
and then the Phantom Menace.
Force Awakens.
It's pretty close up there.
It is
like,
close.
we know your contrarian take on the issue. So.
I need to do it where we just cover all 9 of them. And I also consider Solo better than some of the movies. I really like Solo.
I enjoyed Solo.
Enough.
It wasn't. I didn't think it was good, but I enjoyed it.
I think Solo's top tier.
Okay.
Someone out there just unsubscribed to this podcast. So I don't know why. I just really like Solo. Can't help it. It's good. It was a good movie.
It's okay to like things.
It's okay. I'm not going to argue the point.
I feel bad about how negative I was with Book of Boba Fett.
Don't be. It deserved it for the most part.
I enjoyed it mostly. I feel like you could cut about 50% of it out and have a much better show.
You took one of my favorite characters from Star Wars and you turned him into something that I don't recognize.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted Boba Fett to be a badass. I wanted him to be a murderer. I wanted him not to be a hero. He's not a hero. He's a villain. And he was not a villain in this show, really.
Well, and if you're gonna do the bounty hunter who, is ruthless but can also be good, that's the Mandalorian season 1, especially the first few episodes.
So that's my issue with it. But
yeah.
All right, I think we have talked enough about this. So if you enjoyed this episode, go listen to all the other Star Wars content we do. And on Games on My Phone, we do comics, movies, also TV shows, TV seasons apparently also. So just go check out our whole catalog. If you can't find something you're looking for, you wonder why it only goes back so many episodes. 1, there's over 300 at the time you're hearing this. And 2, go to Podbean because they only show so much when it comes to Spotify and iTunes and all that crap. So just use other stuff to find all of us. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. We are on YouTube with audio only, but if you'd rather get your podcast there while you're at work, you just click the tab, do it. YouTube's good for that. I upload it for those people that do that because I understand. I do it now too. So go check those out. And we have a Patreon. For as little as $1, you can go vote in our Patreon poll. I don't know what it is this month. Go check it out. Little as $1, you can go vote. And I always put 4 things. And I want to give a shout out to our awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Fury. You will see a link to her TikTok. She made our music. And also want to give a shout out to my buddy Bill Tucker, who did the MCU movies with me. He started his own podcast, The Gamer Looks Forward. Definitely go check that out. And I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys next time with something else. Who knows? Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.